Rhonda Frascotti, Assistant Principal Second Violin of the Columbus Symphony. For us violinists, whether student or professional, our instruments are among our very most prized possessions as well as our best musical friend. So let's talk a minute about how to care for our instruments. In everyday playing, when you're finished playing, of course, you want to get rid of the rosin dust that'll be on your strings and on the body of your violin, perhaps. So I suggest using two separate cloths. One for the strings and get most of the rosin off of there. Then use a separate clean one to go over the body very lightly. And that way you're not using that same first cloth to rub any rosin into the wood. Also, of course, clean the bow stick off in the same way. I would suggest every day checking the straightness of your bridge. And by that I mean when you look at it sideways like this, you want to see that the bridge is straight up and down and not tilted one way or the other. So look this way and you can turn it around, take this view. If you find that it's tilted, there's a way to adjust it, and you can do this each day if necessary. Thumb and forefinger place at the bridge, right at where the string meets the bridge, and if you press your thumb and forefinger together hard, it'll make the slightest little nudge to the top of the bridge at that point. You can do it on each string if you need to. It could also be done this way if the bridge is leaning toward the scroll. That way the adjustment is tiny and you're not going to knock the bridge over, yet you will be able to maintain its verticality. Also, be careful to not subject your instrument to extremes of either cold or heat. So don't place it near a heating or air conditioning vent, even if it's in its case. Never leave it in a car. And in general, just keep in mind that if a human being is comfortable, then the temperature is probably comfortable for your violin. In the winter, when the air is dry inside, it's a good idea to use a humidifier. That may be the damp it type, which goes inside the instrument, or one of the other types that fit into your case. And we'll be looking for optimally a humidity level of 30 to 40% is what violins really thrive in. And then periodically do a little more special cleaning. With the strings, I suggest not using alcohol because it dries the string core, and also it's kind of dangerous to get alcohol anywhere near your varnish. So a good alternative would be to use superfine steel wool, which is the very finest grade. It will say 4 zeros here. That's the grade you want. It's very fine, and just take a little piece of it, rub very lightly on the strings, and that cleans them really well. And for the rest of the instrument, you can use a soft cloth. You just need a tiny bit of moisture to clean the body. So even just breathing, the moisture from your breath should be enough to clean the instrument. And when you have your soft cloth and you can just breathe like that and then rub with the soft clean cloth very lightly. Again, no hard rubbing. Always avoid any kind of compound or furniture polish that you may use on a table or a dresser, but no furniture polish or oils should ever touch your instrument. And keep all liquids away, keep your coffee cup away, don't let any water or alcohol or anything get near the instrument. Just be very safe. Finally, when you're changing strings, a couple tips. One is do not ever loosen all 4 strings at once. If you're going to change a whole set, do one at a time. That way you maintain the pressure on the bridge and your sound post won't fall down. That's what might happen if you were to take all the strings off at the same time. So you don't want to do that. Once you have the string off, it's a good idea to put some peg compound on the peg. And peg compound looks like a sort of a lipstick. Here's one brand. And you just put some on the peg where that peg is going to be contacting the wood of your scroll. And just a few marks like that will lubricate the peg so it turns well. the other thing that's helpful to do while you have your string off is put some graphite in the slots where the string contacts the violin. That would be, in other words, let me get a violin with a string missing here. That would mean, here's the string off and there's a slot here at the nut. And you can just run the pencil head there to just put a little graphite to lubricate that area, and also on your bridge, right in the slot where the string slides. And that will help the string slide over when you wind the string up. It'll make a smooth transition there. The last thing I wanted to mention was just a safety caution for my colleagues and students who think it's really handy. The ledge on the music stand is a handy place to hang your violin. Don't do it. And do not similarly leave your instrument on the chair while you go take a break in the orchestra rehearsal or something. Always keep the violin in its case when you're not attending it, and don't hang it on the stand. That way you will not have a really embarrassing and costly accident. So I hope these tips are helpful, and I wish you very happy playing.